to the fire! Destroy it! No.
Ladies and gentlemen, good day to you. My name is Jess, the Based Nerd, and some interesting developments over for our European friends, specifically in France. Now, the idea of a vaccine passport has been fairly hotly contended. A lot of people are saying that it is for the best for everyone to get vaccinated. A lot of people are saying, hey, I have a right to choose, my body, my choice. I find myself somewhere in the middle of this argument. As a libertarian, I don't think it's the government's place to force medication on people. As a rational human being, I believe before taking medication, it is best to seek advice of your doctor or another type of trained medical professional instead of politicians and social media personalities, news reporters, celebrities. These people I don't trust making decisions on my health other than telling me to eat better, quit smoking, and exercise more. Now, the Senate in France has moved up. This has not passed yet, but it's very likely to pass, from my understanding, the idea of a vaccine passport. So I wanted to take a look at this article and kind of go over it with you guys and sort of give you my opinion on it. So here we go. Despite growing protests, French lawmakers have moved a step closer to passing a bill that would introduce obligatory coronavirus vaccines for certain professions and condition access to cultural and leisure spaces as well as travel on a health pass showing proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test. The French Senate late Saturday approved the bill, but introduced changes to the government's draft to exempt minors and remove restaurant and cafe terraces from places requiring the new passe sanitaire, sanitary pass. Senators also tabled an amendment to postpone implementation of the new rules to September instead of August. The law now needs a final approval from the lower house of Parliament. Ahead of the Senate vote, more than 160,000 people protested across France the proposed restrictions, up by some 50,000 on demonstrations last weekend. Around 35% of French citizens support such protesting, according to a new poll. That's significantly lower than backing at the start of the recent anti-government protest movements, such as the so-called Yellow Jackets, who rose up against fuel price hikes in 2018. Many Yellow Jackets have joined demonstrations against the health pass. The protesters denounced what they call a sanitary dictatorship and claim that health passes violate individual freedom. So one thing that's really interesting to me is when you look at the systems of government that are typically associated with the Western world, sure, a lot of it has Greek origins. We get a lot of our ethics from the Greeks. However, a lot of our political forefathers, you could say, come from French ideology. You have John Locke, you have Robespierre, you have Voltaire. All of these great thinkers, come to think of it, I don't even know if John Locke was French. If John Locke wasn't French, I'm sorry, 10th grade history teacher. But regardless, the French in the 17 and 1800s were the ones who decided that individual freedom is something worthwhile. Without the French Revolution, without the French Renaissance and the free thinkers and the cafes in France where all these, at the time, radical ideas of personal liberty and limitations on government, where these were created, these ideas were first exposed, these are all French ideas. So it's really sad, in my opinion, to see the birthplace of freedom go down this way. It sort of sickens me. Now, I'm conflicted about the vaccine. I don't feel comfortable disclosing my vaccine status. I think that's my personal business. But I make no secret of saying that it really bothers me that you have all these people telling people, you need to get vaccinated, you need to get vaccinated. you're not a doctor. And I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying this until I'm blue in the face. The only person who should be giving medical advice is your doctor who knows your body. This should not be controversial, okay? So here's the thing about this vaccine passport. This basically implies that freedom and liberty is something granted to you by your government and not something that is a default. Because if they are saying, well, hey, it's a pandemic, so we need to take away your rights to assemble freely unless you do this. Once you do that, it is no longer that you have a right to assemble freely. It is now a privilege to assemble freely. It is a privilege to leave your home. It is a privilege to engage in public with the exchange of goods and services instead of a default right. And I have a massive problem with this because that implies that all of your rights are not in fact rights. They are privileges granted to you through government. Now, government and structures of power, when you really boil it down, all they are is a group of people saying, hey, we are going to get together and we are going to set these rules, and here is a third-party body to enforce these rules. Okay? This is the power of the government is preceded by the power of the individual people and of many individual people coming together and saying, this is what we are going to do. So when you have a government that says, we are going to take away your right to assemble, we are going to take away your right to speak, we are going to take away your right to X, Y, Z, whatever it is, that shows that these are not in fact rights. Rights are something that you have because you are a human being. Every human being on this earth has a right to speak, has a right to assemble. And if you live in a country where you do not have a right to speak, you do not have a right to assemble, that is by its own very essence a tyranny, because this government is going to take away your rights. So the fact that France is going to pass these vaccine passports, and I get it. It's scary, and the vaccine could be a very powerful tool to fighting the pandemic. The problem is that you are taking away the liberty of individual people to make choices about their body and their health. If you are afraid of coronavirus, you should talk to your doctor, find out whether you should get vaccinated or not, follow your doctor's advice or get a second opinion if your doctor says something that you don't like, and maybe stay inside. Maybe let the people who aren't as scared of the coronavirus, let them go out and associate in public. You cannot take away their rights because you're scared. This happens all the time. People give up rights because they're scared. And just like the Benjamin Franklin quote, if you trade liberty for security, you deserve neither and you lose both. It is a scary time right now. I understand that. But we absolutely cannot allow these governments to take away our rights right now. It's like the One Ring. Emergency powers of government is like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. Oh, I'm just going to use it when I need to be invisible. And then when you're finally at a place where you can destroy it, no, I don't think I will. We have to stand strong and not allow these governments to take away our rights. And we have to say, I accept the risk of living in a society. I accept the risk that I might get sick, because freedom of myself and the freedom of my neighbors and countrymen and fellow human beings is way more important. We have been fighting for freedom our entire history as a species. We have had sickness our entire history as a species. We have not beaten sickness, but we finally got the freedom. You sure you're really willing to give that back up? That's all I got, guys. Kind of a short video today, but I just wanted to kind of express my thoughts on this. I hope some of you guys out there agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's totally cool. I would love to hear your opinion. I want to sort of foster a conversational type environment here where just because you don't agree with me, we're not going to flame you. I'm not going to, expose you or anything. I want to hear everyone's opinions. I think diversity of opinion is the most important thing in this world. So if you care to, if you enjoy my video, please hit the like button. It really helps me out to get started, get some traction as a new content creator. And if you really like my stuff and you're feeling extra spicy today, hit the subscribe button. I post several of these style videos a week, and I would love to earn your subscription today. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, what have you. Stay healthy and stay safe.